For some context, I'm in Waterloo Mechanical Engineering, and there is this one course first term called Phys 115. It's regarded as one of the hardest courses first year, not because the content is impossible to understand, but because the exams and quizzes make you question everything you know about physics prior. Like, let me give you an example. The questions are like, here's a mass on an inclined plane attached to a massless pulley attached to another mass. But oh wait, there's a mass on top of the first mass. And oh wait again, there's friction between the masses, but not between the incline. Don't forget about the spring that is stretched between mass 2 and the ground. And oh wait, there's also, you get the point. In normal years without COVID, there is usually one midterm and one final. Every year, the midterms are used pretty much to bend you over and fuck you right in your ass. The average on the midterm ends up being around 50% for normal years, and then on the final, it apparently gets easier. This year, however, because of COVID, we didn't really have a midterm and a final. We had more so 3 tests throughout, so pretty much 3 midterm. I already did my first one, and let's just say the score I got on that midterm was pretty close to my urinal accuracy, so 50%. Despite this being the lowest mark I probably ever received on an exam, it was still above the class average, which shows you how fucked this shit is. After I got my midterm back, I went through the answers and found that despite spending roughly 30 minutes to 40 minutes on the multiple choice section, I only got 2 out of the 8 questions right, which is a huge waste of time. I probably would have done better if I guessed. If I let Jesus take the wheel. This brings us to the premise of the video. I had another midterm coming up, the 2nd out of 3. And you know what I did? I used gambling to do my Waterloo midterm. On the first test, there were 8 multiple choice questions total, and I believe 4 long answer ones. There were only 5 multiple choice this time, with 4 long answer questions. Now, I went through the multiple choice once right away, and I only understood maybe 2 out of the 5. So there were 3 instances where I could gamble away my marks. Now, in order to solve these 3 questions, I used one of 3 strategies. First question, I used the simplest one I could think of, Google's random number generator, to give me a number between 1 and 4, or A, B, C, or D. Now, off the first click, the number didn't change, so I was like, this is a little suspicious. Google's trying to fuck me over here. I'm gonna wait until it does change. And then when it did change, I thought to myself, wait, what if that was the plan? To bait me into not choosing the first one and choose the second one, because the second one was actually the wrong answer. So then I clicked it again. And then just to be safe that it wasn't 3, I clicked it again. Honestly, I don't know how many times I clicked it. Eventually, I decided to go with number 2. Don't ask me why, I just thought that was the number.
The second one I'm too embarrassed to even talk about, so I'm not gonna talk about it. For the next question, I decided to use a magic 8 ball. I asked it 4 questions. Is it A? Is it B? Alright, how about this one? Is it C? That only leaves 1 then, right? Is it D? Oh my god, the signs point to yes. That settles it.
Okay, so there I had it. I had my 3 numbers, or 3 answers. 2, 2, and 4, or B, B, and D. And I input them in and submitted my test and waited. Yeah. Before doing this test, I was calculating my mark. I had found out that from my assignments and from my quizzes that I was already passing the course. So I didn't really study for this one as much as I could have. So after maybe a week or 2 weeks, the exam came back and holy shit, I passed. Like, that mark is literally 40% over how much I thought I was going to get, which was 30%. This brings us to the part that you guys care about, the gambling part. In the midst of scrolling down, looking at my answers, looking at the marks I got, 71%, I thought to myself, wow, what a great way to take a test. Not study enough, use gambling, and get a 71 above the class average? I might do this every time. Why not? It's free. So I kept looking through my answers, and eventually I got to the multiple choice. And oh my god, When I tell you how greatly these marks paid off, these randomly generated answers that got me to 71%, the 3 last multiple choice questions that I originally had no idea how to do, the big guy up there looked down on me and was like, hey, you know what you deserve? Jack shit, I got 0 in all of them. If you clicked on this video trying to figure out if it's a good idea to purposely int your Waterloo midterm, no, I should have just studied more.